Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 with my continuing playthrough of Strategic Command World War I, and this is the West Front First campaign. We will get back after a while to the East Front First campaign. I do intend to bring them to some sort of conclusion before ending them. Yeah. Just so you don't get too confused between the two of them. If jumping back and forth, I know it can be. Well, I was just about ready to end the turn, or thinking we would. And then I thought, I'm going to try with the diplomacy here to move Bulgaria further into the Central Powers. I almost said the Axis, but yeah. Same sort of thing to sort of counteract Romania. We'll spend that. Because it would be nice just to have, direct connections to Turkey to be able to, shift forces around, and have them come in here to help deal with Greeks and others. So yeah, that would be nice, and also potentially to help deal with Romania. Now, this series I haven't talked a whole lot about social things, in modern society, but those that have been around the channel know that I like to. And also, if you've been around the channel a fair amount, I like playing a lot of War Thunder. I play it at least a little bit, a mission or two daily, and some Sundays you can always join the live stream and watch live stream, or even come play with us. We'll play it for about 4 hours. Though actually earlier today, there ended up being about 6 of us over a time period, all playing. I had to kick. My internal rule is he who plays with me the most gets kicked the first to allow somebody else into the 4-man squad. So you had to kick one person for a little while. I mean, there wasn't exactly 6 overlapping. It was 5 for a while. But yeah, back and forth and around. So that was fun. But I've complained about adding Shermans, but particularly it's the M18 that's really making me upset, to the Italian lineup. The Italians had those tanks post-war, but because of their battle ratings, they're going to be used on the Axis side. The M18, very fast tank destroyer, some Shermans on the Axis side to sort of flesh out. I know this is off topic from World War I, but hey, I hope you'll find this at least a little bit interesting. To flesh out some of the gaps in the Italian lineup, and they absolutely did use fairly large numbers. Actually, I rebuilt a bunch of M18s and sold them on to, I think, maybe Yugoslavia, and definitely to Germany, the Federal Republic of Germany. And so definitely use large numbers, so this isn't some fantasy thing. But obviously they used little or none during World War II in any combat situation. I don't even think the Italians ever captured any, even examined, as in bring them back to Italy or anything like that. So, but it's going to give them filling some holes in the gaps. And I brought up, and Gaijin did respond to this, that, why not give them some of the German models that Germany actually did sell or give or loan. I don't know exactly the technical status, but a couple of the I forget one other of the 2 divisions that actually were rebuilt around Rome area that were basically lost. Well, maybe more lost in this retreat from El Alamein than so much lost in Tunis, but were rebuilt using largely for the tanks, German equipment, Panzerforce, Stugs, and that type of thing. And I was told they considered it, and they still might get some of those at some point. But they were giving them, and basically no matter what mine or other people's complaints were, they're giving them the American stuff. And what's sort of prompting all this is, had somebody who just posted on my sort of, wasn't a rant, it was a begging video, please don't destroy War Thunder. And in it, well, why don't you give Germany M18s? They had a bunch of them too. So everybody gets an M18. And somebody, well, why do you just want the Axis to suck? Because, unfair, easy to defeat, was one of the comments I just got. He said, well, I normally play the Axis, so I don't know why I just want to easily defeat the nation or the side I normally play, because I like German tanks. And so, yeah, my continued response to them was, well, why not just make all nations' tanks equal, basically, and almost entirely, and for each sort of level, and then just have cosmetic differences. Some look like Panthers, some look like Shermans, but they're all the same, all same. And what it made me sort of think about, and this is sort of psychology, or the modern psychology, I think, of today, and why is somebody who's playing a game that has historical tanks in it even effing arguing for fairness? Well, why do you just want Italian tanks to suck? Well, because they did. I don't know if this is just some Italian partisan who wants to play Italy no matter what, and go, well, I want to play Italy just because I want that flag on my tanks, but I don't want tanks that suck. Yeah, that's not the way life was. This isn't a, if you want fairness, play something else, or play German on German tanks, or Soviet on Soviet tanks, so they're each side's equipped with the same type of thing. People, I really, don't get this mentality of, if we're going to play chess or checkers or something like that, and go, well, yeah, it's supposed to be balanced out, and it's, other than, what is it? I guess it's been so long since I've really played chess. White goes first or something on chess. Otherwise, everything is the same. It's 100% balanced out, so it's purely the mental capabilities between the two opponents that matter, and there's no dice rolling, and yeah, okay, for that's what you should be playing. I just maybe someone can explain it. Maybe I'm wrong in thinking that it's the modern sort of education system and fairness and blah blah blah, all this other BS. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how you even get to the point of wanting to make a comment like, well, you just don't want, just because, what they have tanks that suck, so you just want to keep it. I just don't even get the idea that you would even think that, oh, well, we should make this fair for them. Well, if you're going to drive French tanks, they're going to suck because they did. You look how horrid they are. Even the sort of kind of good ones, the Salma, which, the engine-wise and gun-wise, that 47mm gun is pretty good, for its day, especially because I think it's like a 1936 or whatever development or something. The 47mm gun is pretty good. The armor is pretty good. The engine's pretty good. It's just that, single-man turret and some other elements suck in it. So even their best thing sucks. And the Char B, well, yeah, okay. It has some good points to it, but still it sort of kind of sucks. So and I don't have a problem when you give American tanks to France because they used them during the war, in World War II as, Free French forces. So they get American tanks. Works for me, because it's, there'll just be, sort of more tanks that instead of having an American flag on them, have a French flag on them that are facing the Germans. That all works for me. But yeah, okay, sort of rant topic over. Are we supposed to be? No, we've sort of done that. Because I don't think you're in a harbor. Let's move out of the harbor. I think you're going to try to hide there. You're in a harbor. Can we? No, we can't upgrade that. Okay, let's see how the Allies do. This unit's cut off. Fortunately, it's only a suffered attrition loss is only a detachment. Yeah. Hungarian plugs. 107 MPP. Okay, General. So the revolution in Russia is setting up a provisional government there to open up a new opportunity to weaken our opponents in the East. There is a Russian revolutionary in Switzerland called Lenin, who could prove useful if we were to arrange for him to be sent to Russia, where he will be able to agitate in favor of the Bolshevik parties. Would you like to authorize payment of 25 MPPs to send Lenin to Russia in the hope that he will be able to provoke further disorders there? Okay. In my other playthrough, East Front First, I didn't send him for two reasons. One, I was intending for a military conquest of Russia. I don't know if that meant taking Moscow, but defeating them by the use of arms as opposed to prompting a revolution. And I wasn't looking at destroying the House of Romanov, partially because I was playing from the perspective of Kaiser Wilhelm, who's, if you look at not so much him, but you look at Tsar Nicholas II and look at King George the whatever. I mean, they look almost like the same person or close brothers. But all three of them are cousins. The Nicky and Willie telegram going back and forth between Nicholas II and Wilhelm II. And I think it was Wilhelm that said, if only Grandmama were still alive, she wouldn't let this happen. And they're probably right. If Grandmama was still alive, they wouldn't have let this happen. Grandmama is, of course, Queen Victoria. So that's how interconnected these houses were. And so I didn't want to bring down the House of Romanov. I wanted to, say, grab the Baltic states, maybe grab the Ukraine, all of what is sort of Poland in the post, interwar sense in the East, and maybe grab, and like the Ukraine, whether split between Austro-Hungary and Germany or something like that, grab up a good chunk of land. But unfortunately, the surrender conditions, if you've watched that series, are super favorable for Nicky. He gets out of it with hardly much territory lost. Basically, Poland, I don't know if any territory is even lost to Austro-Hungary, and a teeny little bit is lost to the Turks. So that, to me, is an unsatisfactory conditions. I would have been good with a sort of decision, well, Russia's willing to negotiate peace with you, and this is what the borders would be. Some sort of graphical thing popped up here. Accept or deny. If you deny, they're going to get a national morale boost or whatever to continue fighting on for a while. Do you really want to risk pushing harder? I would have liked that. And then if once you push harder, deeper, whatever it is, take some more territory, a second one in which they're willing to. And but at that point, you don't get to you force a solution. And also part of what I wanted to do was actually to occupy, say, the Baltic states and whatnot, and not set up either puppet governments or just independent governments. I wasn't so much looking to break up Russia as grab off some chunks of it for Germany and Austria, and maybe a bit for Turkey, So yes, we're going to do that. So it was never on the idea that Bolshevik forces grow to strengthen Finland. Okay, Finland basically goes to civil war historically. Bulgaria prepares for war. Okay, good. Maybe an Eritrean detachment deploys at Tobruk. Okay. Smolensk mobilizes. Okay, some, I guess, reservist type force. Entente naval units, yes. I hope we did the Black Sea. Germany developed trench warfare level 1. Science progress, yes. Okay, gas and shell production. Okay, good. And so, we might be able to take out that newly deployed detachment there. Oh, good. Took out the CL, even though I know we'd sort of ground it down, but yay, taking it out. Oh, good. They're continuing to fall into my trap of occupying the front lines. Been told that playing against the AI develops bad habits, and it very well may, in two senses that I can see. One, not expecting things like very unhistorical and maybe not realistic invasions, and naval invasions. And just smarter opponent too. I can see that, of course. Okay. Now, I don't know if they're satisfactorily handling, because those that have watched a bunch of my strategic command videos, particularly they'll talk about a lot of the ones dealing with World War II. The lack of stacking is my biggest complaint for this game. I totally get and totally appreciate and agree with that there should not be stacking for things like cores, maybe, or if you do allow it, there's massive disruption, meaning, I don't know, if you're just like one core behind, you have a situation here, I don't know, somewhere like you can have one core at the front and then two cores immediately behind it stacked just because they've been shipped into the port or something like that. But, massive disruptions that you just don't want to have them in combat for. maybe, but definitely stacking. I want things for like artillery, and you have a bunch of other specialty units that are, I think, would do good to stack with other units and not be their, only unit in the hex. Now, Warplan sort of does it by having some cores get specialty units attached to them organically, like a bridging unit or an anti-tank unit. So they sort of deal with it. And of course, also particularly stacking naval units that they can do. And I like that. And so, creating a fleet that's, you can't just have submarines somehow sneak in and sink a dreadnought without the idea of having, if you're going to stack it with some destroyers or something. So you have that as an opportunity. Bulgaria joins the Central Powers. Maybe my push was not necessary because I didn't see that change anything, but maybe it did. Okay. So, well, maybe spend some MPP without. Okay, aiding the Ottoman Empire. Okay, now we've got this. Austro-Hungarian flag, just over military production. Okay, you can send allied. Okay, to do this war map stock screen convoy. Okay, yeah. German artillery. Where do we want the artillery? You see, it's, these represent big, and so there's a bit difference with some of the scale of the game, in my opinion, between strategic. I do quite honestly like, especially after Warplan has come in, I like Strategic Command better in the World War I setting than I do in World War II. I still think it's a good game, maybe even a very good game, but good game in World War II. So it's not like I'm trying to dissuade anybody from playing it in that, but where here it's really sort of good, and these are really sort of meant to be big artillery parks, as would be the proper term for them. But it's like trying to find a place to get it close enough to the front where I want to be able to cycle some of the other units through. So if I could just stack it with somebody else, it would be nice. Okay. Well, with Lenin and crew, we have doing revolutions here, and we're pushing it fairly deep. We have this artillery that we can send in more points to get fully up. We have this artillery over here. And right now, not that some of these, especially like this fortress in Riga and whatever things that recently popped up here, won't be a problem. They very likely could be a problem. Okay, we're going to close to Paris, so let's put you here and see about getting you up. To attack into Paris. Okay, we just got Bulgaria, so we're going to let Bulgaria sort of be our extra hammer down here and try to reinforce, resupply forces around here. There we go. Okay. Saving this, so if I just misclick, I can go back. We'll see about that attack, but the big thing is we maybe much more likely to save make sure that somehow Sofia isn't taken. I'm going to go with the idea that Romania isn't coming right in right away, especially now that we have Bulgaria, and looks like we might do some good here fairly soon. Yeah, I know these guys are very weak, but I think so are our opponents. There we go. And they'll move in. They'll follow up. You guys will come down there. Okay, so that is useful. A little more damage than I was anticipating. I am worried a bit about artisans that from my other playthrough that I know will start like deciding to show up maybe. Okay, well, I've got to get some better air reconnaissance out here, I think. Now, okay. Well, they've certainly pulled back here. Yeah, yeah, as long as I can dig him in that way, that's good. Okay, 2, 3, 2, 2. So this looks like it's going to be the better first punch. Hoping we wouldn't need to use this for that, but okay, good. Better to fully take him out than to leave in a one factor. There we go. And now I don't need to do the Linzanzo campaign of back and forth, take it back, boom, 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 because I think that is right where River Caporetto, I think, is also maybe what that whole front is called. Sorry, I'm not the best expert on World War One, but yeah, we'll just keep letting them fall in here, and we'll keep, like we just took out 2 Italian corps with minor losses and not let them do the same to us. Okay, well, I think we're going to take that unit out, or at least we're going to try, because we're damn near Paris. The British are our strongest adversaries, it looks like, but to keep that happening, oh good, we can maybe take out a modern corps as well. Try to one of these older red cap corps. Well, this is just a detachment I see, but now they're looking at it a little more cautiously, but yeah, we're not going to attack the fort. We can take the casualties on that one, because that one will get rebuilt next time. I'm thinking about yeah. You may wonder why I did it. Well, it wasn't just to be some perverse World War I. Okay, that's not looking nearly as good. General action. It would mostly I was hoping to knock off another 2 off of it so that it would reinforce instead of upgrade. At least that was my hope. Hopes don't seem to be coming. Fire all the shells at them, which is more than I normally like to do, but yeah, you got defensive fire. Right. I was hoping only 1 round of defensive fire, but even more. Wow, that was expensive and didn't get me where I wanted to go. Okay. He's already moved. Yeah, then we would get from one or the other, yeah. But I wanted to kill that unit. Now, because he's sitting out here and will get presumably surrounded and hit, what we need to do here is move in and push, not necessarily attack, because as we can see here, we are not going to do so well if we attack, but we can move up here and entrench, because he is not entrenched. And so, yeah, we're down to, it looks like, detachments. Oh, well, let's do, maybe I should have done this before moving in. We'll bomb Dijon. Okay, well, come on. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of HQs and some other stuff here. And let's look over. Supposed to fly higher than their airplanes. Okay. Very nice. Oh, we should have used that to go after one of these guys here. That would have been better. we might have been able to take that one out entirely without moving up. Though I don't know if moving up is going to end up being a bad thing ultimately for us. They very likely have something more here, but they are thin on the ground. If that is Paris, which obviously it is, and they've only got an artillery and a detachment there, they got a nice string of British units and a Belgian detachment. Okay, well, okay, you come down here to sort of fill the line. You shift down to here. You are going to max out. You are going to get maxed out. It's not that we're done with the right flank that Schlieffen always warned about not doing. But, like I say, we may be falling into the German trap of pushing to Paris, but I'm not doing it with reckless abandon because I don't want to, what I do to them down here. Yeah, we're going to take you out. To be what happens to me. That is a secondary supply source. No, they're not going to be able to. Oh, I can't imagine. I mean, they can maybe move into that hex, but they can't move up to there. Okay, well. Well, indeed. Before I forget, let's see what we can do down here. And I need to remember to entrench, which I have not been doing. Maybe just out of arrogance, but still. Maybe I should have tried to take out their zeppelins. Okay, now all of our troops are entrenched. And I think coming from there may be river crossings, but well, we may push in, I don't know. Now, fun with the Russians up here for the Turks. Well, I guess the defensive is still the best. Bet here for them. Recon bomb them. Just sort of get like, hey, they're right here, everybody, they're right here. Now these forces are weak and all, but guess we better push. Wow, that did not go well for you guys. Stay along here. Okay, well, where are they? Here they are. Okay, my troops that I'm transporting up to there. We have, I think, a submarine down in this area somewhere, maybe, but we definitely have this one here. Oh, you get to dive from the attack. Oh, good, good, good. Okay, now we've located you again. Good. Oh, good. Oh, you get to dive from attack again, but still lose one. There you are. Okay, they're cut off and they're now losing all hope. Well, that may be a bit of an overstatement, but we can only hope it. They're losing all hope. Okay, well, let's... the light cruiser in here. Hopefully they won't get too badly done. We can reinforce these guys, yes, sure. We'll take that. Yeah, they are in a proper fortress, so that does mean taking them should be a bit difficult. Wow. Attack that fort. I didn't quite take them down, but... some mud in here is why these things are moving so slow. Might have been time to reinforce those guys more so than move them. Yes, I'm aware that things may collapse in Russia, and all I'm really doing is making it more difficult to shift my forces back west, but I think until we have a decision out here, I think it is important to push. Because even if, say, these forward, like, first 3 units out here somehow get taken out, we still got plenty of forces behind them to hold the line, at least hold most of the territory we just acquired. Okay. So that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Or at least identified that there's somebody there. Wow, nothing. Right. Well, attack them, I guess. If we get well, one. At least we're weakening them. Okay, well. Austria-Hungary is a powerhouse with MPP right now, so we can't build any more detachments. That's what I wanted. More detachments. Okay, well, we're going to need to... We need a few more to occupy Serbia, or Serbia is going to break out into revolt. Okay, maritime bombers. Yeah, we'll buy those. Those will help out here in the Adriatic. We'll go with which was a torpedo boat. Don't know. Okay. Now we moved a lot of forces. Some of them we probably should have been upgrading. Oh, that's right. We need to keep these guys moving. Let's see if we can get up to here. Yay. We're going to keep moving along there. Continue to disrupt the flow of supplies to... Oh, hello. And it's a destroyer. Good. That was very nice that it was a destroyer that we bumped into. Let's go after the weaker ones. Though apparently with no real effect. Oh, well, hey, this time we bumped into a light cruiser. Good. They don't do well against submarines, so that's good. Well, you know, they attacked, so okay, let's... This battleship. Yes, I guess I'm feeling so comfortable and spending money on improving battleships. Okay, so I don't think they can get me here. They can here, but I don't think they can get me here, so I think I'm good from ground attack. I think I'm good with that. Okay, well, I guess I can also it's not just like, hey, I want to spend to spend. I want to spend smartly. Okay, trench warfare is coming along. Infantry warfare has nothing been done there. And here, so let's Get infantry weapons and infantry warfare improved. We'll also do that now for Germany. Aerial warfare. Yeah, we have enough to do that. Okay. Turkey trench warfare. It'll take some time to get those, but that'll be helpful, I think. Let's look at production for Germany. Well, you know, they can be the ones, if need be, occupying Serbia and whatnot. Yeah, that could be useful. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff coming. February, so it's not very far off. Okay, I think that's all been well spent. Now back to Austria. No, I think that's okay. Bulgaria. We may see about doing some of those soon. All right, well, we've done some of the submarine maneuvers. These guys, I meant to be moving them a bit more around. Thinking about doing a naval invasion here. I really don't want to push across here, even if I could. I mean, that's tempting just to do to weaken them. Yeah, let's make him a little nervous. Okay, 1 for 1. Just making sure everything's being drawn right. Okay, you go hold. Port, you hold Medina. Just trying to keep the Arab revolt from coming out. And I think the detachment would be okay for there. And yeah, this could be also involved in our naval invasion here. All right, let's see how this goes. Yeah, you're suffering. You couldn't move closer, unfortunately. We still may get you out, but okay. Austria-Hungary welcomes Bulgaria in. Very good. Serbia surrenders. Oh, that's nice. 220 MPP. Very good. Plundering away. Okay, the Bolsheviks in Finland are gaining strength and threaten to overthrow the forces of law and order led by General Mannerheim. Major General von der Goltz therefore proposes to lead an expedition to Finland to assist Mannerheim's forces in the battle against the Reds, but sending it will cost us 75 MPP. With Mannerheim securely in control of Finland, we would be able to commence trading with that country. Therefore, economic benefits in the long run could outweigh the initial cost of the expedition. Would you like to authorize von der Goltz expedition? Now, I don't know. And I'm not an expert on World War I, but just watching the very great channel why do I always do this? Not a senior moment, even though I'm really, really, really old. See an Arsenal, a really great weapon looking at curios and relics, sort of what it stands for, firearms, but particularly they've been going through World War I, though because of what's going on in the world, they were unsure of getting some of their loaner guns transferred to them, so they've decided to do their in-house guns that weren't in the Great War. Particularly, they've been looking at Swedish guns, and they talked a little bit about Finland and their use of the Swedish Mausers in smallish numbers. And their sort of, 1918 era civil war going on up there. But how Finland was planning on getting a German king, a German prince to become a king of Finland. But with Germany losing the war and all, they decided not to go down that route. But I don't know if this game looks at that, but that's what would be likely a good installation for Germany, would be to have a German heritage monarch on there to secure some of this stuff. But yes, we will spend the MPP because we would rather have General von der Goltz and Mannerheim defeat the Bolshevik forces in Finland. Very nice. That's Mannerheim. I presume that's von der Goltz. We would much rather have an ally up there than an inherent enemy. Don't know what that might do for our negotiations with the Reds. Develops armor warfare level 1. And we have, what is December? Lots of rain. Oh, yep, see they get teleported up there. I figured that would happen. Oh, I don't know. Could they have retreated out, maybe? Yeah, these guys are, I'm just going to let these guys doom out here, basically. I just don't think I could get them back successfully. If I could, I would. But without the ability to see very far, basically they only see the hex next to them, so they can't really spot things to avoid them and getting around whatnot to get it out there. It's just not a practicability to get much of them home. Hopefully they'll do a little more use out here. Oh, and they pulled out well, I moved up a core and a detachment, and they're pulling those back. Yes, I understand why they're putting the unit right next to Paris. Not that I wouldn't do that, but it's one that's going to get killed for no real gain, other than maybe slowing me up for a turn. And if slowing me up for a turn getting next to Paris means that they'll get more units built, oh, that could be good. Well, that was very good. Because either that's going to be weakened for however, the rest of the game, or they've got to not reinforce or build other units somewhere else. Those MPP. Yeah, we knew they were next. They didn't have any entrenchment. They were the vulnerable ones. I wasn't quite thinking it was going to be this bad. Just artillery. I expected him to attack. That's a heavy reinforcement line there, so yeah. Oh, they're actually moving in. Okay, move it up. Ouch. Can you run away? Oh no, there's no more to attack. Okay, he'll be able to run away and rebuild. Hopefully. Oh good, you're moving into the trap again. I guess this does sort of represents the iron zones up front, though a smart Austrian version of it. Hello, okay, you bumped into me. We'll move again and again and again. Oh, they're finding more troops to put there. Russian morale falls on the loss of Serbia. Loss of Serbia reduces French national morale. Fall of Serbia increases Austria-Hungary. Germany celebrates the defeat. Greeks are magicking in more units. Yeah, I'm sure it's meant to represent mobilizations, but yeah. Okay, you sunk a sub. We've taken out 7 MPP from convoys, and now we have some more artillery, and it's properly winter now. Winter, winter, winter. Okay, we'll stick you there. Let's put you here, I guess. Maybe they should have been up in Bruneck. Okay, let's save this. Well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hope I've earned your... Oh, no, we already have one. Okay. No, West first. Okay. Earn your subscription. Hitting that subscription button. Liking the video is also really important to everything, and I really, really love your comments, whether they're tips on playing the game or historical stuff. Oh, it looks like we've... Oh, yeah, it looks like we have saved this now, so yes, okay. That'll be good. Okay, you can come up to here. Well, we're gonna do it for real. next time when I do it for real, we'll move a little slower. Yeah, we'll push on all of that. Well, let's move to here and then to here. Our Arab revolt is going very well. Or is this the Berber revolt? This may be the Morocco. Well, Morocco would probably be Arabs, but yeah. So, yeah, see you next time for more historical games.